Hi everybody, welcome back to our innovative business channel. Today we got an interesting program for you. It was primarily designed by Inci Anas, so I let him take the lead. It's something new because many people told us that our program got too much theory. So today we are all practical. So give us your ears and listen to us, and I hope you'll benefit from it. Take it away, Anas.
All right. Okay. For the past few episodes, we've been theoretically discussed about business plan, and someone challenged me today. See if myself and Mr. Ravi can complete a simple business plan within 1 hour during this live session. So this is gonna be very interesting. First of all, I would like to refer to my resources, online resources. If anybody type business plan, actually you can get tons of business resources from Google. But one of the good article is published by bplans.com, BPLANS.com. There's a lot of information about business plan inside there. So today, what we plan to do is, if you can see, I'm sharing here is the 5 major component of a business plan. Number one is executive summary, opportunity, execution, company overview and team, and the most important part is the financial plan. So, Mr. Ravi, today, what kind of business that we would like to create today?
Okay, before we start, like Anna said, we're going to apply this to a specific business. So Anas and I have been discussing what type of business we want to look at. So we thought we'll pick the restaurant business, which everybody understands. So we're going to use the restaurant business as our model and work through this opportunity, execution, company overview, and team and financial plan. And we have only 1 hour, so we have to ration our time carefully because each of these items we can talk for one day, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
business plan is very extensive, but today we do a very compressed business plan, and then we see how it looks later at the end when we do the executive summary. So we start with opportunity. So our business is restaurant business. So when you talk about opportunity in a business, first thing you must have your product defined or your service defined. What are you selling? What are you producing? Whom are you serving? How are you serving? What is the market segment you are serving? Rich people, poor people, B40, T20. All this you must go through with your team. And business plan you can't do by yourself. You have to do as a team. So your customers, you got to look at their age profile. You got to look at their occupational profile, their racial profile, their education. So you must really understand your customer, understand your business. Basically, what we do is we impose our business on the customer profile. For example, my restaurant is a French restaurant. Okay, if it's a French restaurant, there's no point going to the lower end, say Malay market. They may not like the food, and also it's a bit expensive. So you want to move up, go to a higher segment, more educated people or higher people with higher income. So you have to choose your market segment carefully. So if it's a French restaurant, it's a certain market segment. Or let's say you're opening a mama shop. So what kind of customer you have? Your customer is everybody. Because we know in Malaysia, mama shop is popular across the whole of society. Poor people, rich people, old people, and all the races. So again, you have to sit down and study what is your opportunity very, very carefully before you start the business. If not, you put in the money or put in the bank loan and you start, then you find that your restaurant is not suitable. Your restaurant is something that is only appealing to older people, young people don't want to come, or your restaurant only appealing to young students, the older people don't want to come. So you have to look at all these aspects very carefully before you launch your product or your service. So market segment very very important, right, Anas?
Yes, that's correct. But before we start with anything, we must ask this very important question, sir. What kind of problem that we want to solve
Hmm.
in our area? For
Hmm.
example, if we are residing in area where there's no 24 hours restaurant open yet, you know,
Ah.
and we know that people in this area come back very late. They work in shift, right? Some of the workers maybe come back at 4 a.m. in the morning. Some maybe
Hmm.
come back at 12, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they need a restaurant that operates 24 hours, right? So this is very important to identify what problem that we wanted to solve. For example, let's say we are residing in area where there's a lot of Chinese, right? So we know, and then that area, not many F&B or restaurant provided Chinese food, you know. So from there we know that the population, what is the preference, what is their taste, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
From there we need to solve that particular problem. So let's say in this case, yeah, we want to our product will be food and beverage. Of course there's a lot of item in food and beverages. Let's say we want to open an Indian food 24 hours Indian food restaurant, yeah. Or in Malaysia we call it mamak. Okay, so that is to answer this question, what problem that we wanted to solve. Okay, mama is quite unique in Malaysia because the market segment is quite broad. You know, when people open a mama restaurant, then the age basically is I would say maybe from 5 year old to maybe 70 years old, you know. So a lot of people try to ask, why this age is very important for us. If you are targeting, for example, less than 5 year old, that means maybe 1 year old or 2 year old, then the design of your restaurant has to be kids friendly. You have to put a lots of things to make sure that the location is safe for kids. Similarly, if you say that the target market is 70-year-old, then you know that the older people may have problem climbing the stairs, you know. So you may need to have a ramp instead of stairs. So it's very important to define your age segment because the looks later on, this will impact your financial planning later, because that restaurant has to, we need to make sure that the restaurant has the ability to cater for those in the age segment. Now we look at the occupation. So what will be the frequent customer of this restaurant? Is it the people nearby the residential area? Is this restaurant located in the middle of KL City, next to a big what we call this office building, you know? So that also very important for us to identify. Let's say for in this case, uh, basically we will say that the people here, let's say this the restaurant is actually in Putrajaya, right? And then we analyze that the people surrounding the restaurant, their occupation is a government servant. Okay. From this, we will know that what will be the income of this government servant. For example, let's say their income should be around RM 4,000 a month to, let's say, 10,000 a month. Alright. So from this, okay, for those who just started working with government, let's say their income is about 4,000, and those who work more with the government, let's say their income at around average around 10,000. Okay, from this we will know how much they will spend on food. Okay, let's say for example, for if people spend RM 10 ringgit for one-time lunch, maybe for the whole month they're gonna spend about 300 ringgit, for example. So let's say I put it there, 10 ringgit times 30 days equal to 300 ringgit. So it looks reasonable, right, sir? Or you think it's more than 10 ringgit?
We can work with 10 ringgit. Later when we come to financial planning, we will tackle this again.
Okay. Alright, so now if you can see that 300 ringgit compared to 1,000 of salary is something that people can afford to, right? That means when we say that if the food must be around 10 ringgit, that means our chicken, rice, plus teh ais or teh tarik, and also vegetable in combination should not be more than 10 ringgit. So this is very important for us to calculate what will be the revenue later on. Okay, let's say if this restaurant we operates in Bangsa area, maybe the average income of the residential in Bangsa, let's say 20,000. So they can afford more. Maybe per visit to the restaurant, they can afford like 30 ringgit or 40 ringgit. That means the ingredient or the food that we can sell can be the higher end version. For example, like crab, like squid, more expensive than chicken. So this is very important to understand. What is the characteristic of our market segment? Let's say, okay, since we operating an 24 hours Indian food restaurant, Mama, everybody knows that all races, Malay, Chinese, and Indian also like this food. So basically, this shouldn't have any impact on the restaurant itself. Let's say on education. So if they were the government servant, so definitely their education will be somewhere around a minimum diploma, right? So those who are having a diploma, so they have a basic education. Maybe in this situation, those with the higher education, they expect a better kind of treatment, maybe somewhere around the restaurant needs to provide a lots of things, for example, entertainment and so on. So these are the things that people need to understand. Who is our customer? Where is this opportunity? So these are the items that must be in this opportunity. And all this information that we provided here must be able to answer the first question just now. What does our product solve problem surrounding this area? But if we are unable to answer that question, we shouldn't move forward by filling up all this information. You have anything to add, sir, under this opportunity?
Okay, opportunity is a very big field. What Anas highlighted for a simple mama shop, some of the key areas you have to look at: age, occupation, what kind of customers, their income level, the food, etc. But you have to really understand the opportunity. If you get your opportunity wrong, for example, the income level of the people coming is only about 4,000 to 10,000, but you're catering for very high end food. They cannot afford the high end food, right? So similarly, you have to look at the opportunity in great detail. Sometimes even when you look at opportunity, when you open the restaurant, things start changing. So you must be prepared to change to suit the opportunity. Suddenly you expect people who are working 24 hours to come, but they don't come because nearby there's another mama store, your competition. You didn't know about it. So you need to revamp your restaurant or relocate your restaurant. So opportunity is not fixed. It's changing all the time. Okay? You must be aware of that. Anything, any business you open, the opportunity is dynamic. You have to keep changing. Look at your customer. Correct, Anas?
Yeah, that's correct.
So these are some of the key areas you look at, you know, in opportunity for a mama restaurant. So it's quite a simple business, but even then, it's very strange. Some mama shop are so successful. You go to Pelita, you cannot get a seat. Some mama shop are sleeping. So there must be a difference in what they are doing. Why are some successful and some are not successful? So you begin to ask the relevant questions. Maybe the food quality is no good, right? Food quality is very important. And your ingredients you use is not very good. Or your hygiene standard is not very good. People are not happy about the cleanliness of your restaurant. And now in COVID, if there is no safe distancing and checking of temperature and all that, some people may not come because they are scared of COVID. So you have to tailor make your opportunities. Okay?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
Anas.
That's
Okay.
correct.
We only got 1 hour, Anas. We got so
Okay,
many
okay.
things to cover.
All right. So now,
Okay.
back to our first question. I type it here.
Mm.
How this product solve the problem? So I will summarize like this. The restaurant is located in the middle of residential area in Putrajaya. Currently, there's no similar
Mm.
restaurant in the area where people can hang out and enjoy time with their family and friends. You see? So this is how we see whether or not this product that we are trying to sell can solve the problem or not. If, for example, we open a French restaurant in this area where their average income is only between 4,000 to 10,000, there's no point. If
Mm.
every visit the restaurant charge their customer 100 ringgit per pax, there's no point. We're not solving any problem here. So this is why in our previous session, we emphasize on writing it down to make sure that our product and services that we wanted to offer is basically viable business. Okay, let's move on to our next title, which is on the execution itself. So basically, execution talks about action plan. So what we wanted to do next after having this business plan. Okay, so what the area that we need to identify is the first one is the marketing and sales plan. Okay, so under this area, we we really need to know how we want to market our restaurant. Should we have a business page, Facebook page? Should we print out flyers and distribute it to the residential area? Should we, during the first week of our business opening, we give free food for everybody? or we simply send email or SMS to those who live nearby our area. So these are the things that we need to think about. Marketing and sales plan can be many things, but under this execution title, what we wanted to know is what we want to do and when we want to do it under various titles. So now under marketing and sales plan, so because we are a restaurant, we are not sending our product to overseas, or we are not distributing our food across states. Basically, our target market, as described previously, is those who reside in the same area as our restaurant. Hence, the best marketing and sales plan for this type of business is maybe just by printing flyers.
Distributing the flyers.
And coupon, right? So those who have our flyers can get maybe 20% from their food price.
Right.
So when we want to deliver it, so we need to give a date to our activities. Okay.
One more thing, Anas, you can do in marketing and distribution plan for restaurant is create a special. Sometimes you go to a mama shop, suddenly that particular day is very crowded because they got a special dish, maybe prawn biryani or fish biryani, and it is very well made. So on that particular day, everybody comes there. So that is marketing for the mama shop. You must create the specials. Any restaurant, you must create the specials. So that is very important. So that will ensure that you get the crowd coming in. The idea of a restaurant is to pull in the crowd. And the main attraction is the quality of the food, whether the food is good. So if they know there are specials and the food is good, they will come. So slowly by word of mouth, the popularity of the restaurant will increase. More people will come. So that will happen also.
Okay. So this is what I can think of at this moment, sir. Under execution, first we need to have marketing and sales plan. Number two, of course, we need to have the restaurant itself, and then we may need to renovate it, and we need to install equipment inside the restaurant itself, and then we need a date to do that. So only by having this, we can roughly identify what we can do next. If everything we didn't jot down, we just agak-agak and then put it is just in our head, not communicated to our staff or maybe even to ourselves. So basically, maybe we will spend money, do the renovation without getting the licensing or approval from the majlis first. So what if later on when the majlis come, they said, oh, your renovation didn't meet our minimum spec, right? You need to redo everything. So this is very important for us to understand which activity must come first. And upon getting approval upon getting the first steps ataupun the first processes completed, then we can move on to the next one. Let's say in this restaurant business, I think the first one, we need to incorporate the business itself. So should we go and register our business first? Should we go and register our Sendirian Berhad company first? If we don't have it at this moment. So now that if we already have it, then we need to look for the restaurant. Where is the premises itself? Acquire the premises. Then we need to go to the local government to get the licensing. A lot of things needs to be done. Then the local government said, do you need renovation to be done? Then we said, yes, we need to do some renovation. Then we need to submit the renovation plan to the local governments. Once we get the approval, then we can execute the renovation. So we must identify what are the critical components in our business, in our business activities, and we must have a date when we want to execute the action. And we need to have a duration. For example, we know that to get a local government license may not be 1 or 2 day kind of thing. It may require 1 month. It may require 2 months, and we need to study whether the area is allowed for us to operate 24 hours business or not. So these are the things that we need to be done first before and jot it down, plan it properly so that we didn't lose our money later on.
That's
all right.
right.
Now, so I'm just doing a very rough one so the date can be put in later. Okay, now we look at our company overview and team, right? So now that we wanted to open a restaurant business, we need to first incorporate our business. Or register business, right? So when we want to register our business, we must have a name for our business. We must have address for our business, and there are a lot more. We need to know whether we require partner for our business, If we open a Sendirian Berhad company, we will have a shareholder, we will have a company secretary, we need to have a director. So all this has to be identified upfront under company overview. And then not only that, so when we have the companies, right? So we need to understand who will be our team. Basically, this is what we call the human resource required in order for us to do this business. So we need to have an organizational chart, a very simple one. Because basically we need to understand who reports to who, right? Let's say in this restaurant business, let's say we must have a restaurant manager, for example, right? Under the restaurant manager, we must have the chef. We must have waiter. We must have cleaner. Some of the function can be what we call it mixed together in their job description, or can be separated. So we must have a job description so that the restaurant manager knows what the job description needs to be done, what they need to achieve in a year 1, year 2, or year 3. And this also we can summarize into what will be the correct salary, market salary that we wanted to offer to our restaurant manager, to our chef, to our waiter and cleaner. And this will impact our financial later on. So you have anything to add, sir, in this?
I think the team is very important. You must have the right people, a proper restaurant manager, cashier, chef, waiter, cleaner, and like Anna said, with a proper job description. the team is very important. They have to work together as a team so they can run the restaurant, and there must be good coordination between them. So this you must organize this properly, because a business consists of people, not tables and chairs. If the people are wrong, the business will go haywire. Any business, you must have the right people in the right place. So all these are essential people. So either you already have them, if not, you go and recruit. Recruit all these people, good people, interview them, spend some time with them, give them a job description, and then you're ready to go on the people side. Right.
That's correct. And also, by having the job description, sir, we can also understand what will be the requirement for that particular job. For
Yes.
example, for the restaurant manager, do you want to allow a fresh grad to apply for that position? I don't think so. Right? You may wanted somebody who are 5 years in F&B industry for that particular position.
Yes.
Very important position. And for chef, you also doesn't want people who are not yet tested in the market. You doesn't know whether the food is delicious or not. You may have to need to test the food first, you know. And cashier, waiter, cleaner. So after we have this job description, we can understand what will be our expectation to those people executing the roles. And from there, we can design what will be our requirement. For
That's right.
cleaner, maybe we doesn't require a permanent employee to do that. Maybe we can just employ an intern. You know, for waiter also we can employ an intern, and it's only cost us 600 ringgit.
And
So
also, when it comes, you should start determining your salary structure. How
yes,
much the manager get, how much the chef get, how much the waiter get. So there is no confusion later in the company. People cannot complain that, oh, management is unfair to me. I work so hard, I do so much, they pay me so little. So make sure the salary structure is rationalized and fair to everybody. So that's very important. And then again, this salary structure is an input to your financial planning. You need the number, because salary is one of your main costs in addition to rent, right?
that's correct.
So you need to come up with a salary. Also, not only salary in terms of the actual salary you pay, but your salary policy, whether they got KWSP or not, SOXO or not, they got medical insurance, all these things you must take into account. If they work overtime, do they get any extra money, travel allowance, all that you got to work out. So staff are very clear when they work for you. So there is no, a lot of companies go haywire because the boss hasn't done a good job. It's not fair to the employee. Some he pay more, some he pay less. He doesn't have a reason. Okay? So
Yeah. You know
salary is
what?
very critical. Yeah.
You know why, sir? Because they don't have business plan.
Yeah.
They don't have plan at all, you know, how to structure.
If simply anybody come through the door, you say, okay, you want to work here? Okay, boleh. Work here. But if you have a structure, like an organization structure, you can know where this person fit in, how much to pay him, what are his responsibilities. So the organization chart, even for a mama shop, is very important. Within waiter, you got senior waiter, junior waiter, supervisor. So you got different types of people. So you need to work on that. Make sure your salary structure is clean, and always remember, no doubt you say salary is confidential. In real life, it's never confidential. Everybody will share their salary, right? So once they find out that A is getting more than B and C is getting more than D, they will be upset. And salary is a good motivator if used correctly. If you use wrongly, it really demotivates a person, and your
Yeah.
restaurant performance will be affected. Mm?
Okay.
Wow.
Now we are moving on to the financial plan, because why our financial plan is the last item in the business plan. Because you need to get all the input from the other title just now, like, what will be the expected sales, per person that coming to our restaurant. Now, this is under market segment.
Mm.
And then when we want to execute, so we need to know if we want to do sales and marketing plan. So here we decided to distribute flyers. So these flyers, when we want to print it, how much it costs, and then you want to give to how many people. And then when it comes to the restaurant itself, you know that we need to do some little bit of renovation. We need to paint it. We need to put the signage. We need to install cabinet. We need to buy equipment. Lots of things. And then we also know that we need to pay the local government for the licenses. You need to pay SSM for the incorporation of businesses. So only after we understand this, when then we goes to the team. How many restaurant manager we require? In this case, we may need only one restaurant manager. But since we are operating 24 hours, we may need to have 3 shifts. And if we have, let's say, 2 chefs per shift, then we times with 3 shifts, then we need to have 6 chefs, right? So cashier as well. Let's say we only have 1 cashier, but we have 3 shifts, so we need 3 cashier in total. Waiter. Let's say our restaurant is not that big, we only need 2 waiter, and because we have 3 shifts, we need 6 waiter in total. Similarly with cleaner, we just need 1. Since we have 3 shifts, we need 3 cleaner. Sorry, 3 cleaner. So this information is very important. And then we look at the job description. So what we want the restaurant manager to achieve. If our expectation is so high, then it will reflect in the salary a month. For example, a salary for a chef maybe is 4,000. Cashier maybe 2,000. Waiter maybe 1,500. Cleaner maybe 1,200. So we need to take all this into account and then put it here under our financial plan. Okay. Under financial plan, there are many items here. First, we have profit and loss statement. Projected. Okay. We also need to have a cash flow statement. Also, projection. Okay. Normally, why there is 2 statements? Normally, people just do a cash flow, right? But there are certain things in the expenditure cannot be just simply deducted immediately. For example, let's say we buy a very expensive equipment in the restaurant. Let's say we buy furniture for 10,000 ringgit. Of course, in cash flow statement, we need to deduct all the 10,000 ringgit when we pay to the supplier. But under profit and loss statement, we need to basically create what we call a depreciation for that 10,000 ringgit, maybe into 3 years. So instead we recorded expenses for 10,000 ringgit in year 1, we will distribute it to 3,000 ringgit a year, 3,333 a year, you know, until within the span of 3 years. So we don't have time to do profit and loss statement. So we just do a simple cash flow statement. Let's say we want to do a 6-month cash flow statement. So now we want to do some projection. What will be the sales of our restaurant? Let's say just now we estimated that everybody that come to our restaurant will spend about 10 ringgit. Yeah. So let's say in one day we are expecting at least 90 customer per day. Okay, because we have 3 shift, you know, this restaurant is operated 24 hours. We have 3 shift. Let's say for every shift we manage to get 30 customers. So in a day we will have 90 customer, and we times 30 days, because this projection is in a month. So what we will get is 10 ringgit times 90 times 30. So our monthly sales will be 27,000. Okay. Alright, so now this is the money that comes into our businesses. So then we label it as what? Cash inflow. But definitely we also need to spend something. Okay, we call it cash outflow. Alright, even before we basically have our restaurant fully operated, definitely we need to spend something on, we need to spend on the equipment. I don't know, maybe the equipment will cost us, let's say 15,000. Okay, let's say we didn't buy the premises, we rent it. So now we no need to take into consideration the premises, but we need to renovate the premises. Let's say our renovation cost is 20k, right? Now we need to look into our operational expenditure. So our main will be the rental of our premises. What else do you think?
Salaries.
Yeah, salary. Maybe our rental is about 3,000. And then salary. So now I need to go back to this. Okay, 6 times 4,000. It's already 24,000. Plus, we have a cashier cost us about 6,000. Plus, we have 6 waiter. How much is that? 3,000, 4,000, 9,000. And plus 1,200. That is not inclusive our restaurant manager. Let's say we pay the manager 5,000. So that will be 45,000. On monthly basis that we need to pay our staff. Utility. Let's say utility is about 1,000, the electricity, water bill, and so on. And let's say we also need to spend on the cost of sales, you know,
Purchases.
purchases. all the raw materials, let's say the raw material is about 30% from our sales. Okay, by looking at this, sir,
Yes.
we know that earlier we think that sales, 30 customer paying 10 ringgit, we get 27,000 a month. Looks like we are making money, right, sir?
Yes.
But after we look at this, this 20,000 not even enough to pay
Salary.
salary.
This is a mistake most companies do. They focus on the sales. They think the revenue number is good. Yeah, revenue number is good. But you must look at your cost of sales. If you make $100, your cost of sales is say 30%, your profit will be 70%. You make about $70. But if you make $100, your cost of sales is much higher. You're going to lose money. So that's why in a business plan, the financial plan is very, very important. This one we did a very simple one. Anas just put in a few figures here and there to illustrate that you have to work until your business makes financial sense. So go up a bit, Anas. Go up. So your sales in this simple example, 27 is not enough.
Yeah.
Maybe your sales must be 50,000. So if sales is say 60,000, that means one session you have to increase it to maybe instead of 90 customer, 150 customer. So now go back up again. This goes back to your higher,
This one.
goes back to your sales and marketing plan. No, this one. Sales and marketing plan. So you got to start looking at your sales and marketing plan. So if only 90 customers come, you cannot run the business. So you have to go back and do. One thing I want to say is a business plan is never fixed. It is what we call iterative. You have to keep doing it again and again and again. Maybe the restaurant needs to increase the price by 10%.
Yeah.
And they need to get more customers, or they need to sell higher end products, more expensive products, or they're selling some of the things too cheap. So all this you got to keep reviewing. But
Or
in the end,
employ less people here.
or employ less people. Well, all this is summarized in the financial plan. The
Yes.
financial plan is a map for the business. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't do the financial plan. Ini accountant buat lah, saya tak tengok. No, it's not an accountant's job. Accountant can put the numbers for you. But you as an owner businessman, you must know how much is your revenue, how much is your cost of sales, what are your expenses. If you don't know the numbers in your business, please don't start your business. You will lose money. All the money will go here and there. You have no control. So the purpose of this business plan is finally end up with a financial plan. The financial plan Anna showed you is a very simplistic one. In real life, you have more lines. Operating expenses, you have to break it down. Fruits how much, vegetables how much, cooking oil how much, you have to break it down.
Yeah.
Sales, you have to break it down. Shift 1, how much sales, shift 2, how much, shift 3, then you find that shift 1, nobody is coming in the daytime. Only at night people are coming. All the reverse is true. So the numbers allow you to analyze and dissect the business. That's why numbers is very important. But most SME, they don't bother about the numbers. They start the restaurant, they start goreng and mee goreng, they think they will make. It is not true. You
Yeah.
have to take a look at the numbers and understand what is your cost structure, what is your revenue, how many people must come to your restaurant, how much you must sell the plate of mee goreng. If you sell at $2, maybe too low. $4, nobody will come to your shop. Right? If you sell at 150, you lose money. So you must continuously be adjusting your P&L. You
Mm-hmm.
must know your numbers. Very, very important. Even if you run a small mama shop. Right, Anas?
Yeah, that's correct. If you look at, although we say that our salary is quite high, but if you look at when we itemize it, our waiter is only 1,005
Mm.
and our cleaner is only 1,002, which
Mm.
is the minimum salary in Malaysia. And
Mm.
I don't think chef can any go lower any than 4,000, you know.
Mm.
So that means at the end of the day, we need to think that, okay, maybe 24 hours is not a good business model.
Mm.
Maybe eventually we need to have two shifts only, 16
Yes.
hours only,
Yes.
so that we can cut our salary by one third.
One third. Mm.
So these are the adjustment, the final adjustment that we need to do in order to eventually make sure that at the end of the day, our financial is positive.
Yes.
But
So,
looking at this,
mm,
salary alone will kill the business.
yes. So you must step up your revenue. Your revenue is too low.
So,
So revenue got two components. Number of customers coming in and the amount they spend. Amount they spend depends on your pricing. If your pricing is too low, your sales receipt will be too low. Right?
and
So you
also
have
it,
to keep
it
adjusting.
depends on who is our customer here. See,
Yes.
there's a maximum that we can charge to people. Everybody want to charge as maximum as they can. But you need to look at who is your customer. You know, maybe here we can increase. Maybe we can increase to 15 15 ringgit, maybe, right? We doesn't know until we do. But to me, even 15 ringgit for those income at 4,000 is already expensive because they need to have their breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know,
Yes.
they won't come to our restaurant for all lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner. They at least will come only for one. Is it the breakfast, either lunch or dinner, or maybe just once a week. So these are the important thing. When we do business, we do this business plan. We can roughly understand eventually whether or not this business model will be successful or not, right?
Yes. That's right. We did a very simple plan here, very, very simple, but still it illustrates how important a business plan is. Juari asked one question,
Mm-hmm.
how important is a business plan? Juari, you can see from this simple example how important is a business plan. If you get your revenue wrong, you're finished. If you get
Yeah,
your costing wrong, you're finished. Your salary wrong, you're also finished. You pay too high a rent, you're also finished. So you have to balance your revenue and your cost. So that is a tricky part about business. That's why go back to number one, you must know your opportunity. From there you flow down. If you don't know your opportunity, suddenly you think that, oh, people will spend $30 in my restaurant. It is not true. These are civil servants living in Putrajaya. How can they spend $40, $50 one meal? Right?
that's
So
right.
analyze the opportunity. Then from there you come slowly. Using this format will help you a lot. Maybe it's a very, we don't have time to, like I said, each of these items we can spend one whole day talking.
Yeah.
Right. You look at opportunity, we do what we call a SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. We look at four things in opportunity. Execution, so many things to look at. But this is just to give you an idea of how to get started. Every business must have a business plan, big business, small business. But this one is a good illustration in the restaurant business. So next time you step into a mama shop, look at how much they're charging. Look at the number of customers. Look at the number of waiters. Look at how the cashier. Look at how clean the place is. And why people are not coming. There's no parking. Some mama shop got no parking. So how you expect people to come? So these are all the variables you must look at in a business plan. And it's worth every ounce of time you spend, every second you spend on a business plan is worth it. Really, really worth it. It will
Like
save
that,
you a lot of pain. Yeah.
like just now, right, sir? When we first do the business, business plan. It looks so good, right?
Yeah.
We do mama shop. We can cater for all ages. We can cater for all races. We want to do 24 hours, but turn out that by operating 24 hours, it makes the business become negative.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So when you put the numbers to the plan, it will show very clearly where you have gone wrong, where you should correct. So that's why the business plan is very, very important. Don't try to do any business without a plan. Even like one we did here, it took us 1 hour 10 minutes. It's still worth it. But 1 hour 10 minutes in practice is not enough.
Yeah.
Tak cukup. At least you must spend 1 or 2 days with your team because you're making a commitment. You're going to sign a rental agreement. You're going to make payment to majlis. You're going to employ people. You employ the people and you ask them to leave or sack them in 1 week. They will sue you. So all these are big decisions. So you have to make sure you get your plan right and then move forward.
Mhm.
And also we didn't cover here many areas like your competition, how to analyze your competition, you know?
Even the timing itself, sir. For example, let's say we know that in order for us to get the license, we take 3 months, for example.
Yes.
So before we go and sign the rental agreement, we should say that until I get the approval from the local authority, then I will pay the rental.
Yes.
Or I get the first 3 month FOC.
Yeah.
So
If
these
not,
are
you'll be
the
sitting
things.
with an empty restaurant without any operation,
Yeah.
zero revenue, waiting for majlis. When a majlis come and check, they say this one wrong, that one wrong. I'm sure companies have closed shop because of this. They
Mm.
think majlis will give in 3 months, but in the end, majlis take 6 months. So you cannot tahan the cash flow. Okay? I think it was a good illustration by you, Anas. Very
Thank you.
good illustration. In the restaurant business, the same principles apply to many industries, whether it's restaurant or even in our college, Innovative International College, we do the same thing, the same process. So important to think in a business. The thinking is represented by a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot emphasize enough to you about the importance of business plan. So today was good because last 2, 3 session we talk about theory. It's easy to talk about theory, but when it comes to implementation, you find, oh yeah, cannot employ so many waiters, cannot open 3 sessions.
Mm.
Majlis don't allow you to open in the middle of the night,
Mm.
something like that. Okay? Okay, good Anas, good session, very practical. I hope people enjoyed it. And we have no more questions, only one from Johari, which I answered. And we thank you for joining us on Innovative Business Channel. We always enjoy having you. And next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. is the same time. So we are not sure what topic we're going to do. But if you want us to do any particular topic, let us know. For example, the financial plan, we can spend 1 whole week with you.
Yes.
1 whole week with you. Easy.
That is our
You know,
food lah. Saya.
yeah, somehow Anas and I are both accountants. There's so much in financial planning, very detailed planning, you know. So similarly for the other items. Okay, Anas, good job, Anas. Well done.
Alright, thank you very much, sir, and thank you very much also to our listener. This is just some illustration of what we can do with the business plan. Of course, the real business plan doesn't look what I did. I just want to show you how much important, about having a business plan before we start our business. Yeah. And
That's
then
right.
and continuously update your business plan even though you already started a successful business. So that's all from us today, and hopefully you enjoyed our show. And then see you again next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.